A woman named Fiona Menzies sat in her kitchen in Glasgow on a Thursday morning in March of 2041, and her daughter Isla, who had driven up from Edinburgh for the weekend, was staring at the dog. Not at Fiona. At Hamish, the 7-year-old Labrador who had been Fiona's medical alert service dog since 2034. Specifically, at the small panel on his vest, which was glowing a color Isla had never seen before. Isla had visited her mother perhaps 60 times in the past 7 years. She had seen the panel glow green, which meant stable. She had seen it glow pale yellow, which meant watch. She had never seen amber. She did not know what amber meant. She asked. And Fiona, who had hidden the answer for 7 years, set down her mug and said, "It means he knows I'm lying." This is not science fiction. Or rather, it is not science fiction for much longer. Dogs have been detecting human illness for decades. In 2004, a study in the British Medical Journal documented dogs correctly identifying bladder cancer from urine samples with 41% accuracy, far above chance, and achieved with no training at all. In 2019, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania's Penn Vet Working Dog Center began systematically training dogs to detect ovarian cancer, finding that canines could identify the disease from blood plasma samples with over 90% sensitivity. By 2024, the same lab had shifted focus to something more elusive: pain. Not the biomarkers of a specific disease, but the volatile organic compounds the human body releases when it is suffering. The challenge was that pain is not one thing. It is a constellation of signals, cortisol spikes, inflammatory markers, micro changes in sweat composition, shifts in gait and posture and breath that a human observer might not consciously notice. But dogs notice. In 2026, a team at the University of Glasgow, working with the charity Canine Partners, published findings that trained assistance dogs could detect the onset of chronic pain flares up to 40 minutes before their handlers reported them. The dogs were not reading minds. They were reading bodies. And bodies, it turned out, were terrible at keeping secrets. The technology followed the science. By 2035, the first generation of K9 Sense vests had been deployed across the NHS pilot program for chronic illness support. The vests did not replace the dogs. They recorded what the dogs already knew, a continuous log of the handler's pain state, inferred from the dog's trained alert behaviors and cross-referenced with biometric baselines. Green meant the handler's pain was within their normal range. Yellow meant elevated. Amber meant the handler was in significant distress and actively suppressing visible signs. Red meant crisis. The data was private by default, visible only to the handler. But the glow on the panel was not private. Anyone who looked could see. And for 7 years, Fiona Menzies had made sure that when her children visited, the panel was always green. Here is what Isla did not know, sitting in that kitchen in 2041. She did not know that her mother had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2031, 3 years before she got Hamish, and that the disease had progressed steadily ever since. She did not know that on most days, Fiona woke at 4 in the morning because the pain made sleeping past 4 impossible. She did not know that the cheerful visits, the Sunday roasts, the walks to the corner shop, all of it was performance. Fiona had learned, over years of practice, to move in ways that kept the panel green when her children were watching. She had learned to time her medication, to rest for 2 days before a visit, to schedule the hard tasks for the days when no one would see. Hamish knew. Hamish had always known, but Hamish could not speak. Until the morning, the vest betrayed them both. The malfunction was small. A software update had recalibrated the alert thresholds overnight, and Fiona had not noticed. The new baseline was more sensitive. The green she had trained herself to produce was no longer green enough. And so, the panel had slipped to amber, and Isla had seen, and now Isla was sitting across from her mother with the look of someone who has just learned that a person they thought they knew had been a stranger all along. Not because the stranger was unkind. Because the stranger had been kind for so long, and at such cost, that kindness itself had become a kind of lie. Fiona did not apologize. She could not. An apology would have meant she regretted the choice, and she did not. She had watched her own mother die of lupus in 2018, before the service dogs, before the vests, before any of it. She had watched her father spend 8 years learning the geography of pain, which grimace meant bearable, which silence meant unbearable, which smile was real, and which was for the children. She had watched her father age 20 years and 8. She had promised herself then that if she ever became ill, her children would not carry what her father had carried. They would not learn the geography. They would not become fluent in suffering. They would visit, and the panel would be green, and they would leave believing their mother was fine. This was the gift. This was the only gift she had left to give. Isla did not understand, not at first. She was angry the way only someone who loves you can be angry at the years of careful lying, angry at the dog for keeping the secret, angry at the vest for finally telling the truth. She said things that morning that she would later regret. She asked why her mother had not trusted her. She asked what else had been hidden. She asked if any of it had been real. And then Fiona said the thing that stopped the argument. She said, "Hamish has been carrying this for 7 years, not because I asked him to, because that is what he does. He sees the pain, and he lies down beside it, and he stays. He has never once tried to make me feel guilty for being in pain. He has never once wished he did not know." She looked at her daughter. "I wanted to give you that. I wanted you to love me without carrying me, the way he does." Isla did not answer. There was no answer. She sat with her mother in that kitchen for another hour, and then another, and by afternoon the panel had shifted to yellow, and then to green, and no one mentioned it. But something had changed. Not the pain was the same. The difference was that now there were 2 people in the room who knew what the dog had always known, and one of them was finally allowed to know it. Some truths are too heavy to carry alone. Some truths are too heavy to share. The service dogs of the Canine Sense program were trained to detect pain. They were not trained to decide who should know. That decision, in the end, remained human. And the humans who made it the Fionas of the world, the mothers and fathers and partners who learned to keep the panel green, were not lying because they were ashamed. They were lying because love, sometimes, is the choice to carry the weight yourself. The dogs understood this. The dogs had always understood this. They lay down beside the pain, and they stayed, and they never once asked to be relieved of the knowing. Every tomorrow leaves an echo. Some echoes are the weight we chose to carry so someone else could walk unburdened. We will be listening for the next one. Next on Echoes of Tomorrow, the last letter anyone wrote by hand.